Hello everyone, my name is Katie Emmett and I am on the RN to MSN Health Systems Leadership track, and this is my presentation on my philosophy of nursing. Before I dive into my philosophy on nursing, I think it's important for you to understand my background, as it's helped shape my philosophy. I was born and raised in Green River, Wyoming, a booming metropolis of 12,000 people. It's in the southwest corner of Wyoming, which is the least populated of the 50 states. The vast majority of residents are white, Christian, and very conservative Republican. As a small child, I traveled the country with my father. During the summers, he was an over-the-road truck driver, so I got to see a lot of different places and meet a lot of different people. I definitely think that has helped shape my ethical philosophy. I was also involved in Girl Scouts and Job's Daughters growing up. Both of these youth organizations have a very strong focus on community. They try to develop leadership and instill ethical values in young girls. The Job's Daughters is a religious-based group, although I was not raised with a very religious upbringing. It was something that I very much enjoyed, and something that I definitely think helped influence my philosophy in nursing and caring, and the focus on community. I also grew up playing various sports. As a young child, t-ball, softball, junior jazz basketball. As I got older and into high school and middle school, I was a swimmer and played basketball throughout that as well. Did track. This definitely the focus on sportsmanship, fair play, and teamwork has influenced my ethical practices. Graduating from high school as a cum laude, I think, actually had an effect on my ethical values. I'm a very hard worker, and this was evidenced by that. After graduating from high school, I got my degree in anthropology. This has been instrumental in helping me to develop an ethical philosophy, particularly in regards to cultural relativism. While reading a few people's discussion board posts with the global baby assignment, there were a few people who weren't very familiar with this, and my background in anthropology makes it a concept that I am very familiar with, and a concept that I have a pretty easy time understanding, the way that people's cultural norms can influence what in that society is ethical. Unfortunately, after graduating, I learned that my father was right, and it's very difficult to get a job in anthropology. So I immediately went back to school and got my ADN. After I graduated with my ADN, I moved to Spokane, Washington, which was fantastic. I loved Spokane, and worked there for 4 years as a pediatric nurse. This was huge in developing my ethical philosophy. Working with kids, I think, is very difficult in that the kids are easy. You have to work with the parents. Sometimes you see situations in children undergoing treatments that really aren't going to be very helpful to them in the long run. But most parents will do anything for their child. It helped me develop my ethics as far as standing back and trying to stand in someone else's shoes, and realizing that I don't have to agree with their decisions. It's my job to make sure that they're educated about the decision and to provide them with as much education as I can and to go from there. While in Spokane, I bought my first house, which was very exciting, and added 2 members to my family, a lab mix named Bowser and a white chocolate lab named Goomba. Having dogs, I've always had dogs my entire life, definitely shapes ethical principles. It's having someone who's totally dependent on you for their survival. Unconditional love, and having the care of someone who's really vulnerable. Recently, though, I moved back to Wyoming to be closer to my family. Family is a huge part of my life and another huge influencer on my ethical philosophy. My parents are both people that tried to instill core values, golden rule, treat others as you would like to be treated, and were a large influence in my life. All of these combined experiences have shaped me into the person that I am today and have helped to mold not only my nursing ethical philosophy, but also a personal ethical philosophy. As far as nursing goes, my personal philosophy can be most easily summed up as providing the best care possible, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, while respecting the patient's thoughts and wishes. I try very hard to adhere to the principles of autonomy, allowing the patient to make decisions about care without imposing my judgment or morals. Beneficence, consistently acting in the best interest of the patient to the best of my ability and knowledge. Ethical relativism, like I said, with my background in anthropology, leaving the judgment at the door, and trying my hardest to understand from the patient's perspective. For me, fidelity is about advocating for the patient's well-being within the restraints of their best wishes. Staying faithful to what they want is a very important part of nursing. Justice, providing the best care equally and advocating equally for every patient, no matter their circumstance. Whether it's a small child or someone convicted of murder, it's my job to provide the best care possible. Non-maleficence is ensuring that no harm is done directly or indirectly through my actions.